Hi, Melinda. Can you hear us online? Oh, wait, am I muted?
Yes, I can. I can hear
Oh.
you online. We're good.
Oh. Well, my audio's off here.
It's okay if your audio is off.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, she just spoke. There's a
What-
bit
what-
of a lag.
She spoke?
Yeah.
Melinda, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
So we can't hear her.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear. We did hear that.
Okay. Can you hear this?
No.
Nope, now it's gone.
Okay, it's on my end. I'll just switch to my
Okay.
laptop speaker.
Yep. No, I think. All right. Yeah. Whatever's happening now, that's good.
I'll keep it that way.
All right. Thank you. We're just.
I will keep myself
set up.
muted.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 25th, 2026 meeting of the Upper Darby Township Zoning Hearing Board. We apologize for the delay. We're dealing with some administrative matters, but we appreciate your patience. Before we begin this evening, I would invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, so this evening we have 5 items on the agenda. We will be going in the order in which the items are listed. If anyone needs a copy of the agenda, it is right up there in the front of the room next to the door. Prior to tonight's meeting, the board met in a brief executive session to discuss legal issues related to this evening's applications. We do not have any continuances tonight, so all 5 items on the agenda will be heard this evening. We have a curfew at 10 o'clock. I do not anticipate that being a problem this evening, although famous last words. So for anyone in attendance who is an applicant or a witness this evening, we have a 3-member board. To get any relief you're asking for, you need at least 2 of our 3 members' votes of approval. Despite the fact that I'm going to be doing quite a bit of talking this evening, I am not a member of the Zoning Hearing Board. I am the Zoning Hearing Board solicitor, meaning I am the Zoning Hearing Board attorney who gives advice to the board and helps make tonight hopefully run a little bit more smoothly. The 3 members sitting just to my left are the members of the Zoning Hearing Board. We have Al Zamora sitting to my left, Steve Bertel, and then Bob Gwynn, who is standing up right now. To the side of the room, we have Joshua Chast, our Township Zoning Officer, and Demetra Monk, our Township Planner. Sitting in front of me is another very important person, Lori DeFabio, our Court Reporter. Everything I say, everything you say, everything that is said in this room tonight is being taken down by Lori. So as good as she is at her job, she cannot take down what more than one person says at the same time. So please, if you're speaking, speak slowly, speak clearly, so you don't make Lori's night even longer. Like I said, if you're an applicant, you need at least 2 of our 3 members to vote in your favor to get your relief. If you are not an applicant or a witness, if you're here as a guest, if you're here specifically because there is an individual application you're interested in, you can participate in one of 2 ways. Any member this evening, anyone who is in our gallery, can make public comment with regard to any application this evening. You don't need to be right next door. You don't need to be down the street. You don't even need to live in Upper Darby Township. Anyone here can say whatever you'd like regarding any application. I'm going to make an introduction or an announcement, rather, at the very end of each application for public comment, at which point we'll invite you to come to the lectern and say your piece, good, bad, or indifferent. If alternatively, you have a special interest in an application and you want to participate in a more direct way, you can ask for what is called party status. Party status would, if granted by this board, would entitle you to essentially act as an attorney. You can cross-examine witnesses, present your own evidence, make your own legal argument, and at the end of the day, if you're dissatisfied with a decision that this board renders, you certainly may explore an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. If you are interested in asking for party status, we have party status request forms, again, at the front of the room. I'd ask that you fill that out and return it to Mr. Chast or Ms. Monk in the corner of the room, and we will address that at the outset of every single application that's going to be heard this evening. So without further ado, we're going to go down the list here.
Bryce, real quick, can we actually introduce our newest member who's joining on Zoom so the people know who's up there?
Yes, I'm sorry. So I have my usual routine down, and it's unfortunately rather, changed tonight because the Zoning Hearing Board finally got a new alternate member that council was kind enough to appoint. We have Ms. Melinda Kuhar. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Melinda.
You are. Thank you.
She
Yep,
is
you are.
kind enough to join us from her vacation this evening on Zoom. But Melinda will be here, I I'm imagining live and in person at some point during one of our next couple of meetings. So we look forward to having her here with us moving forward. And thanks for being here tonight, Melinda.
Thank you.
All right. So without further ado, the first item on our agenda is application number 8-5 of 26. Applicant is Trudy Hudson for the property located at 271 Wembly Road here in Upper Darby. Good evening, Mr. Shafkowitz. All right, a few brief housekeeping items. We're going to mark some items for the record. ZHB1 is going to be the application packet. Exhibit ZHB2 will be the proof of posting, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. Is there any member of the public who would like to request party status for the application for the property at 271 Wembly Road? Seeing none. Mr. Shafkowitz, perhaps you want to have your witness sworn in, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you. What I was planning on doing, if the board was okay, good evening, everyone. David Shafkowitz here on behalf of the applicant, Ms. Hudson, with regard to the property located at 271 Wembley Road. What I have done in the past with this type of application is I would, if the board was okay, I can proffer the testimony, and I can ask then Ms. Hudson to confirm, hopefully, that the testimony I provide tonight is true and accurate, and hopefully that will help speed up your agenda a little bit as well.
That sounds great, and obviously, if the board has any further questions after that, we'll be happy to ask it of your witness.
Okay, wonderful. Not with me right this second. Sure, last name Shafkowitz is SHAFKOWITZ. Just by way of some background, as we noted, Ms. Hudson, who's with me tonight, is the owner of the parcel property located at 271 Wembley Road. It's located in the Township's R3 residential district, and the property is improved with a single-family attached townhome. The property has frontage on Wembley Street, where its front door is located, and has access to the rear through Locust Street, which I guess really more serves like an alley. Both streets provide a means for on-street parking. Sometime not that long ago, Ms. Hudson received a notice of violation with regard to enclosing what used to be a garage on the property, thereby creating an alleged violation of the ordinance whereby single-family homes have to have 2 off-street parking spaces. We're here tonight to request relief from that provision of the zoning ordinance to provide 1 off-street parking for this particular residence. What I have, just by way of some paper evidence, which may have been included in our packet, to start, is a copy of Ms. Hudson's deed when she purchased the property in October of 2003. Second, just for the board's edification, it's not on our screen, and I can hand this up, is just an aerial that'll give the board some general context where the property is located, and has a little pin on it so you can see how it relates to the rest of the neighborhood. Can I hand that up, Mr. Solicitor? Maybe we can mark this as applicant A1.
And just for the record, the applicant has passed up copies of an 11 by 17 aerial, which will be marked as applicant's exhibit A1.
The aerial, again, just intended to give some context of the property and its proximity to the streets that we mentioned. The one item I think is most important to bring up to the board is when Ms. Hudson purchased the property in 2003, it was in essentially the condition that exists today. The garage was already enclosed. She did not take any steps during the course of her ownership to enclose the garage or use it as living space. It was already in that condition when purchased. The only thing Ms. Hudson has done during the course of her ownership, and I could show some photos, is that when she bought it, the property was just brick in the back and had like a big steel door and deteriorated kind of paving in the rear yard. That has since been replaced with just some siding, a new door, and a window. And then the area has been, I want to say repaved, but more of a concrete patio has been put in to allow for the parking of the one spot in the rear of the building. And if the board's inclined, I can hand up some photos just to give you some context for that. Yeah, great. Fortunately, Ms. Hudson gave me one of the photos tonight, which was the older photo, which is actually dated from September 13, 2014. And then we can show the changes. A2 is the original.
For the record, A2 will be the one-page photograph dated September 13th, 2014. And then A3 is a black and white photograph of, I believe you said the existing conditions?
Yes.
All right, and that will be accepted.
Thank you. As the board will see, is the photo that we show as from 2014 is the condition of the property when Ms. Hudson had purchased it in 2003. Subsequently, her son, who has some wherewithal on the contracting side, the only change that was made was to put some siding over the brick, put in a new door and a window. What ultimately triggered the notice of violation, we're not sure. But there's just some interesting history maybe to note that in 2003, I believe the township did have a certificate of occupancy requirement at the time when the property was inspected, and Ms. Hudson would say that took place during the course of her purchase. Nothing was mentioned about that this violation existed. The second part of the discussion that might be relevant is in 2010, as the board is probably well aware, this new ordinance was adopted. And it was this new ordinance that provided for 2 off-street parking for residential. At the time, it's possible that when the property was purchased, that requirement wasn't in place, which would give Ms. Hudson some pre-existing non-conforming rights. But having said that, we are able to provide at least the 1 parking space in the rear. Ms. Hudson, occupies the property with her husband, and they don't have any issues with parking at this time. So we just, because this was a condition not created by her, because this was a condition that pre-existed her occupation or her purchase of the property, we'd ask the board to consider the relief of allowing it to maintain its existing condition of allowing for the 1 parking space, for the 1 off-street parking space assigned to the residents. The board doesn't have any questions of me. I can ask Ms. Hudson of whether she's can verify my testimony, and then maybe open the floor for questions of that. Ms. Hudson, you were present during the course of, I'm sorry? Oh, I thought you did in the beginning? No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Hudson, you are currently the owner of the property that we're talking about is 271 Wembly Road,
Yes.
and you purchased the property in 2003?
Yes.
As provided in the deed?
Yes.
And the photos provided, especially the one from 2014, accurately reflect the property's condition when you purchased it?
Yes.
And at the time when you purchased the property, the garage was already enclosed as living space?
Yes.
And you were here during the balance of my presentation?
Yes.
And you heard everything I presented to the board?
Yes.
And would my presentation be adopted by you as if it was your own testimony?
Yes.
And was it the information I provided the board true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The only question that I just want to get some extra information on off the top is, well, what is that space currently used for as part of the home by chance?
It's a living space where I live in the basement.
Just additional living space for the main residence, is that right?
Right.
Okay. So with that, does the board have any questions for Ms. Hudson? All right. Is there any, oh, yep.
Let's ask one. Forget it.
Is there any public comment related to application 8-5 of 26? Oh, I think I do see some public comment.
Hi, Joanne Namavong, Nammavong. This is just being made aware of what's going on now. I never heard of any ordinance from 2010 making every residential house in this township have to have 2 off-street parking spots. So if that's the case, then I guess like at least 50% of the homes in this Township are going to be getting violation notices. And I think it's a travesty that she has to come before the zoning board to get and pay a lawyer to have this taken care of. That's my comment.
Thank you very much. Oh, I think we have another public comment.
Becky Duggan, Duggan. I would just like to say, I hope you grant her the variance, you grant her what she needs, because it really isn't right, because I won't tell you where I live, but I don't have 2 parking spaces.
Thank you very much. Is there any other public comment related to the application? Yes, ma'am.
Council President.
Council President Michelle Billups, that's Billups. So can someone tell me what triggered this? Because it's a house that she has enclosed and made a garage. So what triggered why she had to come in from the zoning?
So unfortunately, we can't answer that, but there is someone over there who might be able
Josh?
to.
Can you tell me what triggered that?
Sure. So I'll just open up the complaint. So I'm guessing we got some sort of complaint. Yeah, so a notice was generated as a service request. And then once we get that, we would look and see if it had or had not been enclosed. It looked like it had been enclosed. We checked to see if there was any permits. There were no permits for any type of enclosure, regardless of, when it was. And if it had been enclosed before 2010, before the new ordinance, then it would be grandfathered in, non-conforming, no issues. In this case, there were no permits. So we moved on to the next stage, which was write a violation letter and then follow-up citation until we got to the zoning hearing board where they could ask for a variance.
Okay. I hope you guys give her a variance because I'm going to be honest, that's dumb. It's very dumb. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any further public comment with regard to this application? Seeing none. So at this point, I believe we'll close the record and a motion would be in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Congratulations, ma'am. Your application has been approved.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. As your attorney is aware, you'll receive a formal written decision from my office within 45 days. I hope you have a good night. Moving right along, next application will be number 8-1 of 26. Savage Sisters Recovery, Inc. for the property at 7286 Bradford Road. Is there any member of the public in attendance who would like to request party status related to application 8-1 of 26? Seeing none. So we're going to mark a few items for the record. Exhibit ZHB1 will be the application package. ZHB2 will be the proof of posting. ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. And I believe we have some applicant exhibits incoming. Applicant's counsel was kind enough to submit a list of pre-marked exhibits A1 through A6. These will be admitted, conditional on the applicant or counsel telling the board what we're looking at.
Good evening, Jamie Jen here on behalf of the applicant. I just handed up a package of 6 exhibits. I will just go through them quickly. The first is the residential lease agreement for 7286 Bradford Road. The property is owned by Rocketman Properties, Inc. and Savage Sisters, who has been before you, is would be the tenant. Exhibit A2 is an authorization to submit the zoning hearing board application from the owner of the property. Exhibit A3 is an aerial of the property. Exhibit A4 is the Delaware County property records. Exhibit A5 are the policies, procedures, and regulations for house managers and residents. Exhibit A6 are the standards for drug and alcohol recovery house licensure. If we can just have Sarah sworn in.
I do. Sarah Laurel, Sarahlarurel. Sarah, Sarahlarurel.
Could you please state for the board your address and your position at Savage Sisters Recovery?
My address, like my home address? Like this address? Oh, okay. 6931 Ludlow, Upper Darby.
And you are the founder and executive director,
I'm the
correct?
founder and executive director.
Okay, and we are seeking a special exception to use the property as a sober living home, as well as a variance to have, thank you.
Okay.
As well as a variance to have one parking space rather than the two that may be required under the code. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the property is improved with a single-family attached dwelling located in the R3 district with no other sober living homes within 500 feet, correct?
Correct.
And you are proposing a total of 7 residents, correct? 1 will be house manager and 6 residents, right?
Correct.
And the residents will maintain a single household unit with shared use of living areas, eating areas, bathrooms, and food preparation and serving areas, and share meal times and housekeeping responsibilities, correct?
Yes.
And will Savage Sisters maintain this facility at the standards set by all applicable codes and regulations?
Yes.
As with all its other facilities, will this home have the policies, procedures, and regulations that substantially address the requirements set forth in Code Section 155-51, 1B5?
Yes.
And that has been submitted as Exhibit A5. Will any services such as supervisory, counseling, or medical be provided to individuals who are not residents of the sober living home at this property?
No.
Will all occupants, other than the house manager, actively participate in legitimate recovery programs?
Yes.
Will the property be serviced by sufficient public water and sewer?
Yes.
Will the required arrangements for the collection, storage, and disposal of solid waste be made by Savage Sisters?
Yes.
Will the home be in compliance with all relevant fire and life safety code requirements?
Yes.
And how many bedrooms are in the home and how many occupants will be in each bedroom?
There's 3 bedrooms. There's 3 in the front room, 2 in the back, and 1 in the middle. So it's 6.
There are 2 bedrooms, I believe, with 3 in each bedroom and the manager?
No, it's 3, 2, and 1.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry about
Now,
that.
3,
I
2,
didn't
and
cor-
1 is 6.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
But
It's
you
3,
had
2, and 1.
testified that there's going to be 7 occupants.
I was incorrect. I just set the house up myself. Like, I bought the beds. It's 6.
Okay, so then the total number of residents will be 5 with 1 manager.
Correct.
Okay, so then we'll correct your earlier testimony. And how many on-site parking spaces are there?
1.
And how many residents are anticipated to drive?
None.
Is there any public transportation nearby?
Yes.
And will free transportation services be provided to the residents?
Yes.
And you believe the 1 parking space will be adequate to accommodate the residents, correct?
Yes.
Will the proposed home alter the essential character of the neighborhood in which it is located?
It will improve it.
This is the 4th home in the township that you're proposing, and you have had no other issues with the prior homes, correct?
Correct.
And will annual inspections by the township's code enforcement officer be permitted?
Yes.
And the home, if approved, will be registered with the township?
Yes.
And you will provide the required proof of staff licensure and their certifications will be maintained, correct?
Yes.
Those are all of my questions for Sarah.
Thank you very much. So a few brief questions to clarify some details. Obviously, the board, I don't want to speak for the board, but I know personally that they're very familiar with your business. This is your, as I believe your attorney said, this is your 4th location potentially in Upper Darby Township. With regard to how your business is going to function on this property, will it be any material difference compared to how your other locations in Upper Darby Township are currently functioning, or how this board was informed they were going to function as compared to what you're proposing now? Any material changes?
No,
Right. Will this be for a facility for men or for women?
this will be men.
Now, with regard to, I remember the prior applications, from what I recall, it's Savage Sisters' practice to go around and discuss the proposed use with the neighbors of the property. Is that something that you did in this particular instance?
My staff did, yes.
Okay. Did you and your staff spoke with the directly adjoining neighbors?
They did, and they put the signs up, and it's the same protocol anytime we open up a property.
Were there any issues or concerns that you found?
No.
And I recall your prior, the prior applications, and I believe you testified to it here, that most of your residents do not own and use motor vehicles. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And there's no reason to expect that this particular facility will be different from your others. Is that right?
Correct.
About how many facilities do you currently operate in total?
In the state,
Sure.
we have 12 sober living homes, and we have 2 drop-in centers offering showers, wound care, and linkage to care.
So this would be essentially facility number 15?
Yes.
Right. And I believe your counsel asked you already, but have there been any issues or problems with your other facilities in Upper Darby Township?
No.
Okay. I don't have any more questions myself, but the board members might.
Will this location be a drop-in center or a recovery house?
Recovery house.
So this house is near Beverly Hills Middle School. As a condition of this, as a condition to move forward, would you agree to having child abuse history and criminal background checks conducted? Because I noticed on your application here, you have one for your house manager, but you have none for the people coming into your residence.
During the intake process, we check that, yes, at all the properties.
And do you keep a record on the property of all your background checks?
We do.
And
We also have to submit documents like that to the state, so we're GDEP certified.
right, so do you check with for any child abuse history or any crimes against a child specifically?
We do Megan's Law, and we
Background
talk
check
to the
with state
counselors.
of Pennsylvania certificate. So anytime someone volunteers would be around a child, for example, they have to submit child abuse history and anything and a criminal history against kids. Since this is near Beverly Hills High School, probably walking distance like the other school, Hillcrest, would you be willing to conduct Pennsylvania background checks?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just want to clarify for the board, so I know that sort of was a concern the last time we were here and you had asked questions and there was a condition. So I did speak with Savage Sisters and staff there, and this was the initial information that I received back. Regarding the background checks, we conduct Megan's Law searches for all incoming residents of our housing program. Additionally, during the intake process, we ask individuals if they are on the Megan's Law list. Lastly, 95% of our residents come from rehab. And if someone is a sex offender, their counselor calls our intake line on behalf of the individual seeking a bed and ask our intake team member if we accept people with sex offender status, and we inform them that we do not. So that is sort of their current policy. And I guess if there's another layer of background check that you are requesting, I think if you make that a condition of approval, that will be acceptable to us.
Yeah, we would like you to do that through the state troopers instead of just taking the Megan's Law from the applicant itself, going to the sober living facility. And this way you have a certificate within probably instead of just taking somebody's word for it. And it's not in your documents here. So again, like, because I see it right here, it's the first thing we checked last time, and you keep getting properties near schools, and to be honest, I never met anybody that's a big fan of a sober living home near a school. So I hope that you guys really did go do your checks, and you have records or certificates from state troopers or in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for that's current. Like as soon as that person steps in the door, there should have been the certificate right when they move into the facility. So if they're not, and just so you know, if anybody has any, we wanted to do domestic violence, but you said no. So we made a compromise with kids, and we kind of want to keep that consistent throughout your process and have it included on your application as part of a condition of living next time you apply.
Okay, we will take note of that.
Thank you.
Is there any member of the public who would like to make public comment with respect to application number 8-1 of 26? All right. Seeing none. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Do I just say my name? Lee Jordan. Lee Jordan, Leejordan. So I'm just curious. So what's the turnover? So I know you said you have 6 residents. Wait, can I ask these questions though? Am I allowed to do that?
You can ask rhetorical questions,
Okay.
but only parties can ask questions of the applicant.
Okay, right. So I'm curious about that because, concerned. I mean, so as, people go through rehab and they leave and move on, I guess you get new residents. So like who's following up and doing the checks to make sure that, all these clearances and that everything's for the neighbors because you're in a residential area. So that's my number one concern. And then also, I guess, it was mentioned earlier about 500 feet. So there's not another sober living home within 500 feet. So maybe that's a township requirement. I don't know that. Just curious. That's just something else that I picked up on.
That is a township requirement.
It is? Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that. Yeah, and it just seems like, Upper Darby seems like every other month, I feel like the Savage Sisters were at the zoning for a home in Upper Darby. So, and I just know that the application was done in Haverford Township and that was denied. I know home. So I'm just curious, like kind of what the difference is. It's just my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Richard Bly, B-L-Y-E. I'm also curious about the process of how neighbors are informed about any recovery houses, especially with my direct knowledge of going to homes on Grace Road, where the neighbors there were not informed about the recovery house. The signs were up. I took pictures of them, and I know the signs are up on Bradford. But as a community leader in the 6, I go behind and check to see if our community knows. So I'm asking the zoning board to check and see if the community knows for sure, because we're taking the word on someone who was putting recovery houses close to children and schools. I'm quite certain that if we do a more thorough check to see if families are quite certain as to what's coming in. We all know that we live in a mixed community. Some people cannot read the signs in English. Some people may not understand what the recovery houses are for. We need to ensure that the community that wasn't notified, like Grace Road, is known about Bradford if we're going to proceed forward with recovery houses in residential neighborhoods around children's and schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional public comment?
Just really quickly, I think it was a really good point about it being near a school. I'm sorry.
Your name again?
Becky Duggan, Duggan. It being near a school. And I know for a fact that you can go online and get a criminal background check and a child abuse clearance, and it gets emailed to you within 5 minutes. So I don't see why there would be any reason why they could not do that for the incoming residents. It doesn't take time. It takes 5 minutes. And it's not hard to do. And for the safety of the students and the people in the neighborhood, I think that would be a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional public comment related to this application? Seeing none. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon.
Kyle McIntyre. You guys know who I am. 1040 Drexel Ave. Just to give some commentary on this, and I just wanted to, because the other residents may not have seen the other applications. I know that this is the 4th application for this building, or sorry, for this organization, and in this area where there have been some sober living facilities that have opened up. It's a rhetorical question, but to the applicant, I would ask that if they get the chance, to make comment about what procedures they have done in the past to, address these issues. I think I can speak from my own professional experience. I've actually worked with Savage Sisters as an organization. They are nothing but one of the most professional, above board organizations providing resources that are desperately needed. In fact, they work very closely with a lot of the other organizations in our community, from MVP to Recovery Without Barriers to many of the different organizations. So they are an important and vital network for many people that are suffering in our community. So I highly recommend, you give them the chance to answer and address some of these concerns. I hear the community's concerns, but this organization is one of those very few ones that is doing everything above board that they can possibly do. And they've accepted all conditions before, they'll accept all conditions after this application. So I hope that you vote in the affirmative for this applicant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Bonnie Hallam, Hallam. I think that this is a vital service. Having provided a sober living space for my own brother for many years, I know how important it is to have a caring community around you in your recovery. And I think that if they're providing the services and the care for these people who are living in this space, that it's a really important service, and that something that we should put forward here in Upper Darby. I agree that getting background checks just to satisfy everybody is fine and an easy thing to do. So I think that if they want to satisfy everybody's concerns, that maybe that's what they should do. But the concept itself is a really good one, and we should support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to have to come back up here, but I need to redress something that was said by Councilman McIntyre. Recovery Without Barriers is an organization that I have worked with since 69th Street, since 2017, 18, 19, and 20. Recovery Without Barriers, in conjunction with Savage Sisters, they don't work together. I don't want Mr. Kyle to put that out there with Ms. Pauline Sabatino and the work that she does, and the critical work that she does, and the critical work that she has been doing in taking care of those who are substance abuse and homeless. I want to make sure for the record that he does not speak in the affirmative that Savage Sisters works with Recovery Without Barriers.
And just to confirm for everyone, this application tonight is related to Savage Sisters Recovery, Inc., and only the Savage Sisters Recovery, Inc. So the board will obviously assess this application based upon the applicant and the property at issue. So just so everyone's aware of this. Ms. Junn, would you like a chance to address any of the public comment that you heard this evening?
Sure. Again, we are perfectly fine with the background checks. We will accept that as a condition. If there are any other sober living homes that neighbors believe have been operating illegally, I just want to assure them that Savage Sisters has been here for the 4 homes that we are operating, so we can't really make comment on the others that may be in the township.
Thank you very much.
Other than that, I ask that our exhibits be admitted into the record.
And they will be. Thank you. So at this point, the board will close the record, and I believe either a motion or a brief discussion in executive session would be appropriate. All right. So we're going to go off the record, and we'll be right back.
I was gonna say, I said my address.
You probably have 2 parking spaces. Don't either.
All right. Let the record reflect that the board has just returned from a brief executive session to discuss the application. And at this point, I have a proposed motion if any board member would like to make it. The motion would be to grant the requested relief for application 8-1 of 26 on the following conditions. That one, the applicant is required to conduct PA state background checks to ensure that no resident of the facility has a history of child abuse or any offense involving crimes against a child. And secondly, that any future operator of a sober living facility on the property apart from the applicant shall be required to resubmit for special exception relief to ensure that their business operations are in compliance with the specific criteria specified within the ordinance. That is the suggested motion. If any member of the board would care to make it.
I'd like to second it.
All right, so Bob, you would like to make that motion?
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
Second motion, second to approve?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, congratulations, your relief has been approved. You'll receive a formal written decision from my office within 45 days. Have a good night. Moving along, number 3 on the agenda, number 8-2 of 26. Applicant is SAM Investment LLC for the property located at 806 West Penn Pines Boulevard. All right. Just to mark a few exhibits while the applicant's approaching the microphone here. We're going to mark ZHB1 as the application package, ZHB2 as the proof of posting, and ZHB3 as the proof of publication. Is there any member of the audience here tonight who is interested in requesting party status related to the application for 806 West Pines Boulevard? West Penn Pines Boulevard, apologies. Seeing none. Good evening, sir. All right, so let me put it this way. The applicant is SAM Investment LLC.
Yes.
If you could do me a favor, introduce yourselves to the board and explain who you are with respect to SAM Investment LLC.
My name is Majid Salah. I am an investor, and this is a property that I purchased. I'm looking to get...
Well, hang on one second here. You gotta get yourself sworn in here.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Spell your name. Move that microphone closer to your mouth, please. Spell your name, please.
M-A-J-I-D is my first name.
J-I-E.
D, as in dog. Last name S-I-L-L-A-H.
S-I.
L-L-A-H. Yep.
Give me 1 second here.
Spell your first name again, please.
M-A-J-I-D.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry, sir. I wish I was paying attention. It's been a long day for all of us. What's your name again?
Majid.
All right. Is that your first name or your last name?
That's my first name.
All right. What's your last name?
Salah.
All right, Mr. Salah. More formal. Sorry. I'm in the suit. I got to try.
You're good. You're good.
All right. So do me a favor. If you can explain to the board what you're asking for tonight. If you forget something, if you leave something out, don't worry. We'll ask questions, but just ask us what you're trying to do for your property, and we'll fill in the gaps.
I'm trying to make a living space for my sick uncle in the garage. And that's what the application is about.
All right, so about how, if you can estimate, is the current size of the garage? How big are you looking at?
I don't know the exact square footage of the garage, but there is a bathroom with a toilet with a sewage system already attached to it. So
So there's an existing half bath, so toilet, sink, no shower?
no,
All right.
there's a shower. Yeah, there is a shower.
So is your plan basically to take the space that would otherwise be, standard garage or storage space and convert that into living space?
Yes.
All right. Are you planning to expand the garage or are you just going to use the building that's there now?
No, as is, just build into it.
And that's going to be, I believe you said, for a family member?
Yes.
So you're not going to rent it out or put it on Airbnb or anything like that?
No, none of that.
Okay.
It's just for accessibility for him, for his health deteriorating.
Fair enough. All right. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Salah?
Is the garage all weather? Like, is it insulated?
As of right now, no.
Are you planning to put like
Yes.
heating or cooling? Like, what's your plan in terms of like climate for the garage?
Insulation, heating, cooling.
Is there a power running to the garage?
Yes.
I just have one question. Where would the exit be from the garage? Are you going to install a
there's-
ramp? Are you,
There's a door on the right side that leads into the backyard.
do you need a? Okay.
I am.
Is there any public comment related to this application? Seeing none. So at this point, I think we're going to close the record and the board's going to take a few minutes to talk about it in executive session and we'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you. All right, everyone, thank you very much for your patience. Please let the record reflect that the board has returned from a brief executive session to discuss the application, and I believe a motion is in order.
I make a motion to approve the application on the following two conditions. Condition one, that no commercial use shall be, or the accessory dwelling unit shall not be permitted for commercial use. And condition two, that all interior fit-out work is permitted by Upper Darby and must comply with all building and fire codes.
Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Congratulations, folks. Your relief has been approved. You'll get a formal written decision from my office within 45 days. And if you have any questions in advance of that, you can call either Josh or Demetra at some point during regular business hours. Hope you have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Right. Next item on the agenda is number 8-4 of 26, the property at 127 Summit Avenue. I apologize if I mispronounce the name here. Montes de Oca Fermin, Willian Montes de Oca, and Rosa Campoverde. Good, close enough, I hope?
How's it going?
So we're going to mark a few items for the record. ZHB1 is the application package. ZHB2 is the proof of posting. ZHB3 is the proof of publication. Is there any member of the audience who would like to request party status related to application number 8-4 of 26? Seeing none. Good evening, folks. Do me a favor. Can you introduce yourself and be sworn in by our court reporter for me?
William Montes de Oca.
Yeah. My name is Christopher Montes de Oca. Yes.
So real quick, are you both going to be testifying or is there some translation going to happen here?
Yes.
It's a little bit of both, to be
A little bit
honest.
of both. Not a problem. So Christopher, the only thing I'm going to ask you is if you're going to be translating for Willian, correct?
No. We're both going to talk.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's great. So do me a favor. You can each, offer testimony interchangeably. It doesn't matter. Just explain to us what you're trying to do. And like I said to the last applicant, if you leave anything out, don't worry. That's what we're here to do and ask questions and try to get a little additional information if we need it. So
Perfect.
take it away.
So we are here for 127 Summit Avenue, and we are requesting a dimensional variance for the accessory structure. And what we're trying to do is build a little garage. And the issue that we have is a 2-foot setback from the main building, where 3 feet is required. And we are, we're trying to finish up the garage that we have right now.
So a couple quick questions. So based on the pictures that we saw a second ago that you submitted with the application, it looks like you started the work on this, but I'm guessing at some point the township came by and told you to stop?
Correct, yeah.
And then once you got that notice, that's what made you submit the application to come before us tonight?
Correct. We weren't sure. That's why we started before.
No, it happens. We get that from time to time. Now, is this going to be a proposed garage or a carport?
Like a carport.
So it's not going to be completely enclosed. One side will be open?
Yep. No electric or plumbing in there.
Is it going to be attached to either the existing garage or the house or anything like that?
Yeah, but we won't have access to it. It's just connected to the wall of the garage.
And what do you plan on using this space for?
For our cars that we have. Right now we're parking in the grass, and that's not a good thing. So that's why we're building the extra garage space.
Do you plan to widen your driveway in front of the carport?
No. No. So we're gonna use those stones to drive by and park our cars in there.
All right, hang on. Josh, can you go back? Or sorry, Demetra. Thank you. So you mentioned the stone. You're talking about the stone that's already laid a little bit right in front of the carport?
Correct, yeah.
Are you going to lay more stone?
Yes.
So that's basically going to be crushed stone just from the carport to the street, or is it going to be a little pad?
It's gonna be a little pad that connects to the actual driveway.
Did you have a chance to talk to any of your neighbors about this?
No, no.
Do you know if any of your neighbors have complained about this or made any objection to it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know the neighbor's street to the right of the house, they're not there right now, so we can't really talk to them at all.
So I don't have any additional questions myself, but the board members might.
Was there a curb cut made?
No.
How do you then get out to the street?
Through the driveway that we have right there.
There is an existing driveway.
Are you going to have a vehicle parked there?
Yes.
And then you're going to shuttle things around or?
So my dad goes out early in the morning to work and then I pull off after him. So I won't have an issue with that.
What kind of vehicles are you going to be parking in this driveway?
I have a 2014 Honda Accord, and we used to park in the street right in front of our house, and we've got hit before, and that's why we're building this extra space.
So you're not going to store construction equipment, flatbeds, extra large diesel pickup trucks,
No, sir.
or construction supplies?
No, just cars.
And you're not going to finish the driveway. You're just going to run gravel all the way down.
Yeah, it's not too much that connects to the driveway. It's just a little bit.
So what you see at the picture is what you get.
Correct.
So right now, you're just at studs, basically, for structure?
Correct. After we got the notice, we stopped right away.
So why not just move the rear wall the 1 feet, the 1 foot?
We won't have enough space for the two cars that we're planning on putting in there.
But then you say you were gonna pour, you're gonna pour more gravel or cement to make it longer?
So it can connect to the actual driveway that we have.
Right. So I guess what's under that blue tent, that's the rest of the, I guess, yard, right?
Yeah, that's the rest of it.
Presumably what's off picture is more yard?
Yeah. And
That's what I'm asking is, why not just move it the 1 foot up and then you don't need a variance, right? Am I wrong?
I think there's a second variance because of the distance from the carport to the house. So even if they moved it up, they'd still probably need the variance for distance from the house so they can fit the car in.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Is that the case? I mean, if you were to make the carport not as wide, if you were to shrink it a little bit, would you still be able to fit in your cars and everything?
not really. We would need to park two cars in there. And if we shrink it a little bit, we won't have enough space for the two cars.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we add the condition that there's no commercial trucks? Yeah, no.
Is there any public comment related to application 8-4 of 26? Yes.
I'm still cold.
You should ask counsel about that.
Say my name. What did you say?
Nothing.
No, say it again. Repeat it. Be bold. Say
I
it.
simply
Say
suggested
it.
you might want to talk to counsel about the temperature of the room.
Okay. I'll talk to them, you're right. Michelle Billups, Billups. So can you put that picture back up? Is that okay? So I see where the tent is, and I see where the carport is going to be, and that white space, and that gravel. And that's where the car is going to go in from the, I guess, the left, off the street. Is that's gravel? You're not going to, like, put blacktop or cement or anything like that?
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like the rock, so it can connect to the driveway.
Okay. So is that going to be on the, will they, from the tires, will they get on the street? Because it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Packed, thank you, into the ground? Because I don't know if there's any children that live in that neighborhood, but, you know, if it's loose rock.
So we have to finish it. Once we start, we would actually compact that, so no. Right.
Say it again?
It's required to be paved. We don't allow parking on loose
Okay.
gravel.
Okay, so that was my question.
Yeah,
Will it be paved?
It has to be asphalt, concrete, or pavers.
Okay, all right. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Is there any additional public comment for this application? All right, seeing none. So at this point, I believe we'll close the record, and a motion would be appropriate from the board.
I vote for a motion to approve on the conditions that this is not used for commercial use, no commercial vehicles, et cetera, and to follow all building codes and permits for the township.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations. Your relief has been approved. You'll get a written letter from my office, written decision within 45 days. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our zoning staff during regular business hours. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good night. All right, last item on the agenda, application number 8-3 of 26 for Sharndeep Singh, the property at 7315 Marshall Road, Upper Darby. As the applicant is approaching the lectern, going to mark a few exhibits. ZHB1 is the application package. ZHB2 is the proof of publication.
We've got
ZHB3.
Whatever works best for you guys, okay?
Actually, ZHB3 is proof of publication. ZHB2 is the proof of posting. My apologies. Is there any member of the public in attendance tonight who would like to request party status for application 8-3 of 26? All right, seeing none. Good evening, Mr. McCreesh. Good evening, Mr. McCreesh.
Good evening, Mr. McGuigan, members of the board. I did want to make John McCreesh, McCreesh.
Sharndeep Singh, Sharndeepsin.
And we have a witness that'll be the architect. State your name.
Chunping Wang, CHWEN-PING, and Wang, WANG. Thanks.
I got it.
Mr. Singh filed this himself, and he didn't have the deeds, Mr. McGuigan, so I do. There are 3 parcel numbers and 2 deeds. One deed has 2 parcels on it. And also, I think I mentioned. I'm sorry. Also mentioned Mr. Singh is the owner of, or is the member of Real Diamond Group LLC, which is the actual owner of the folio numbers 1604-01415-00 and 1604-01415-01. And he's also the member of 126 Springton Road, which is a separate LLC. What's that, 126 Springton Road LLC? Yes, and I have the two deeds for the three parcel numbers.
All right. Yeah, please bring those up. Much appreciated.
Josh has the slides. You already move on.
All right, so just for the record, the applicant has passed up 2 separate deeds. As discussed, these will be marked as A1 and A2.
Okay, this is a project on 7315 Marshall Road, and it also is on abuts Sherbrooke Boulevard and Springton Road. It's for an 8-story building that'll house 120 residential units. Yeah, just, oh, well,
Yes.
just let me give them the background. Yes, okay. So it'll be 120 residential units, studios, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom apartments. On the ground floor, there'll also be, there's some parking on the ground floor, and there is 4 commercial spaces. There's about 5,000 square feet of commercial space. The smallest commercial space is 1,000 square feet, and the largest commercial space is 2,000 square feet. Mr. Ping, he goes by Ping, is the architect. He's done a slide presentation and can walk you through it and the variance they need. The application has a few more variances than we actually need, because after meeting with Josh, he made some revisions and was able to eliminate some of the variance requested. But I'd like to introduce the architect now and have him walk you through the plan and the variances that we're requesting.
Yes, I do. My first name is Tren Ping, CHWEN-PING. Last name is Wang, WANG.
And Mr. Payne, could you just give the board a little bit of your background and the licenses you have?
Sure. Hi. So I'm a registered architect in the state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I've been in this industry for 8 years. My office is in Philadelphia, and I live in West Philly myself. So my practice does new construction works and new addition works all throughout the city, and PA and J. I guess that's super good.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. Could you could you walk the board through, through the presentation and talk about the project and the variance, the variances that we're requesting?
No problem.
Real quick, Mr. McCreesh, I want to clarify something. You mentioned in the outset that I think you worked with the zoning department to perhaps reduce the requested relief. Were you talking about you were able to reduce it to what we have before us today, the 10 variances and 2 special exceptions, or were you able to reduce it so that some of the relief that was requested is no longer necessary?
Correct. Some of the relief requested is no longer necessary. Now, that'll become apparent when Mr. Ping goes through his presentation.
Perfect. I just wanted to understand that at the outset.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure. So I'll just start, I guess. First of all, thank you for having me here.
And the slides that you'll be using, these are the same slides that were submitted to the township, I believe, relatively recently. Is that right?
Correct. I have we have some hard copies if that's easier for you to work off of.
Sure. Yeah.
Please pass them up.
Copies, yeah.
And for the record, the slides, I believe there's how many pages here? Looks like there's 17 pages. This is, or here,
Yeah.
18 pages rather.
Yeah, and this is the same thing as in the.
Thank you.
So this 18-page packet will be marked as Exhibit A3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just start. In a nutshell, we are proposing an 8-story building on the site. We are also proposing it to be mixed use, having it both commercial use and residential use. There will be 4 commercial units, and there will be 120 residential units in the building. We are also providing 125 on-site parking. That includes both the surface parking and indoor parking. Right. Can we show the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, it's just a table of contents. So I'll be walking you through the project to my best knowledge. First, I'll introduce the site context, and then we'll go through the proposed building program and the site layouts and the building layouts itself. And at the end, I will show you what is the architectural character of the building and what the intended appearance of the building looks like once it's built. Next page, please. So this is the site. Our lot is a kind of like a quite flag-shaped. We are bordering 3 streets, Marshall Road to the south, Sherbrooke to the north, and then we have a piece of Springton Road to the east. And I also want to point out that there is a SEPTA transit right next to our site. Next slide, please. This is the current program of the site. So as you can see on the site right now, we have a lumber yard. We also have a oil change. And on the north side of the lot, there is a 1-story vacant house, which I believe is not in use. If you look at the Marshall Road corridor, there are quite some commercial activity. Going in from the outside, if you look at the diagram, number 1 and 15, there are both car repair shops. Number 2, 3, 4, there are either a restaurant, a rehab center, and a pharmacy. Numbers 7 to 14, we have lots of restaurants. We have a mini mart and a produce market. Next page, please. This is to show you So these are some viewpoints that look towards our site. Viewpoint number 1 is looking northeast on Marshall Road. It's probably not clear on the slide, but you could see that's the entrance from the lumber yard. Viewpoint number 2 is looking southwest on Marshall Road. That viewpoint is what we see when we come from the city. Number 3 is looking east on Sherbrooke Road. We see that one-story vacant building there. Viewport number 4, you can see the oil change and the one-story vacant building. Okay, next. And the one-story vacant building. Sorry about that. Next page, please. This is the zoning map. Our lot is located in the C1 zone. That is for traditional commercial, traditional neighborhood commercial district. And we are all surrounded by all residential districts. Next page, please. So this is the, here's a summary of the zoning code and the proposed building use and dimensions. So the lot itself is 17, oh, the words are so small. Sorry, can I use this? The lot size itself is 71,713 square feet. It's zone C1. And what we are proposing, the use of this lot, is a mixed use, but this is only, this lot, the zoning of the lot only would permit commercial use. But we are proposing mixed use, that is commercial and residential. We also want to designate here, if you look at the site, the front yard, we want to be clear, is the side that is facing Springton Road. So I hope my laser is not going to work. Okay, but that's the, yeah. Can you use your mouse to show everybody? Yeah, that's our front. That's the building frontage, and so naturally the rear would be the side that faces the rear parking lot. Correct. Yes, that is our rear yard. And so naturally, the two side yards would be facing Marshall Road and Sherbrooke. So it also says here on the zoning codes that we need to have at least 15 feet or 25 feet side yard, which we are not able to provide. So that's also a variance we are seeking. And moving on, we are okay with the max impervious coverage. We are okay with the building footprint. We are also okay with all the other yards. What we are not okay is we are only allowed 35 feet height for the building, but we are proposing 85 feet of height. And moving forward, we are required to have 186 car parking spaces, but we can only provide 125. And how we got the number 186 is also on the slide. It's also in the paper that I just passed out to you guys. There's a formula here saying that for each 2-bedroom units and above, we need 2 parking for each. So we have 72 of those units. So times 2, that is 144. And then moving forward, we have 42 of the 1-bedroom units, which each would require 1.5 parking spaces. And we have 6 efficiencies, which only needs 1 for each. So that's adding 6 more. So for the residential portion, the required parking is 213 spaces. And for the commercial, our floor area is a total of 5,632. And then so the formula is to divide it by 300 to get the parking spaces we need. And that number would be 19. So adding 2, 1, 3, and 19, we get a total of 232. But we're also asking for the
Special exception.
correct, yes, thank you for that. So that would lead us to the next slide, please.
Special.
Yes.
Now, I did want to add one thing with the commercial. So we don't know the use. So some uses could require one per 200 square feet or one per 250, whether it's retail or restaurant. So right now we don't know if it's going to be retail or restaurant. So that could move the parking by 2 or 3 spots, but it's still, the required parking could be a little higher if you're using 1 out of 250 instead of 1 out of 300, which he used.
Are there any tenants or businesses that are tentatively identified, or is this basically spec?
Speculation, not at this point, because it's still, the project is still obviously a long way from, we need to get approved and then start building, and so it's going to be hard to get somebody in till we get it closer to opening.
Sure, I guess, well, I'm continue with the presentation. The board will ask questions about that, I'm sure.
The owner might have a better feel for what type of businesses would go in.
Right.
We'll have him up later.
Okay. So right here, we're also asking for the special exception. As you can see, number 1, it's the 20% down. I believe we're qualified to ask for this because we are in 200 feet near a transit stop. So that's one of those. This page lists out the 5 variances that we are seeking currently. Use the microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one and the second one is the use variance. So to recap, we are asking to have a mixed use on a commercial use lot, and we're also asking for 2 principal uses, which is commercial and residential, but this zoning only allows 1 principal use. Variance number 3, we're asking for a dimensional variance, which is the side yard. Number 4, we're asking for a dimensional variance for the building height. And then the number 5 is the parking spaces. We're also seeking another exception that is the one listed number 2 over here. It's the landscape buffer. We are required to have 10 feet, but we only provided 5 because the lot is not a regular shape, and we want to provide as much car parking spaces as possible. So that will take away that. But I also believe that we qualify for this one because on clause number 2, it says that if the 10 feet wide buffer strip required cannot be accommodated because of a small lot size or a irregular lot shape inhibits compliance with area bulk and parking requirements, the buffer strip may be reduced by special exception, approval, and subject to the following conditions. A is what we are trying to do, and B is the buffer strip shall not be less than 2 feet wide, and we are providing 5 feet. Yep, so next page, please. Sorry, John, do you want to add anything?
That parking front yard too.
Oh, but we're in the side yard, so we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't need this.
A's not in the front. A's not in the front.
A is the front, yeah. So we need that variance.
We did need that.
Should I add that?
Yeah, we should add.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I also have to add to the list of the variants. Can we go back to the previous page? Thank you. So we also need variance number 6. That is, we have parking lots that are on the front yard, which is not allowed. So that's one more up there.
That would be That would be parking lot A on the diagram.
Correct, yeah.
Well, against, facing Springton.
Correct, yeah. If you're able to go to the previous page, the site plan, or here, yeah, this is good. There is a parking lot A on the northeast corner of this lot, which has 5 parking spaces. That's the one we are talking about. That needs a variance because that is our front yard. All right. So as you can see, this is a more detailed site plan. It shows that the building is massed, concentrated on the southeast side of the lot, and the parking lots are on the north and on the east, and there's one on the west, which is cropped out in this image. Okay, next slide, please. This is a diagram showing our landscaping and our traffic flow. As you can see, we are providing landscaping in between our parking areas and the residential districts, which is to the north and to the east and also to the south. And the traffic diagram here shows that we are planning to have a one-way entrance and a one-way out. And they're both coming from Sherbrooke. We also have a curb cut on the south portion of this lot, but that is just for trash collection. Right, next slide, please. So later I will enter into all the floor plans. So here's the basement plan. It's quite straightforward. It's just utilities and storage. Next slide, please. And this is the first floor. We have 4 commercial units. They and in the center, that's the residential lobby. And on the far left, that is our indoor parking lot, which hosts 32 parking spaces. So the basic configuration of this building is the core is at the center of the building. There are 3 elevators and a trash chute. And we have two of the egress stairs located evenly on the left and the right-hand side of the core. We believe that this is the most efficient layout for a building shaped this way. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry, previous slide. I forgot to mention something. So I also want to note, next slide, first floor. I also want to note that the tenants, the future tenants of this building, they could enter through either on the Marshall Road side or on the Sherbrooke side. And the commercial tenants, this is still to be determined, but they could enter on both sides for now, but we might think it's a better idea to just have access on the one side. Okay, next slide, please. This is the layout for the 2nd to 6th floor. So this would be the typical floor plan. As you can see, the core is right in the center of the building massing, and the 2 egress stairs are evenly located on the left and the right. We have 4 different unit types. So each floor there are 20 units, and for each floor there are 1 studio unit, 7 1-bedroom, 1 baths, 10 2-bed, 2 baths, and 2 3-bed, 2 baths. Oops, sorry, 7 1-bed, 1 baths. Okay, so 1 studio, and then 7 1-bed, 1 baths, 10 2-bed, 2 baths, and 2 3-bed, 2 baths. That's for each typical floor. Okay, next slide, please. This is the 6th floor. I want to point out that we have a 2 feet 6 of a setback on this floor, and the idea behind that is to create a less imposing building massing. On this floor, we have 5 different unit types. We have a studio, we have 1-bed, 1 baths, 2-bed, 1 baths, 2-bed, 2 baths, and 3-bed, 2 baths. Okay, next slide, please. So, okay, here is the eighth floor. The eighth floor is more like the common area. There is a lounge and a gym, also a roof deck, and I believe you could probably see the skyline from here. It might be a very good view. And the office here is more like a management office for the building personnels. Okay. Next slide, please. Here is a more detailed layout of each unit. So what these from these pages, I want to demonstrate that these units that we laid out are not so cramped. They're quite sizable and comfortable. As you can see on this page, it's two different types of 2 beds. The 2-bed, 1-bath is a 715 square feet unit. They all have sizable closets and bathrooms, and each of these units would have their own indoor, in-house washer dryer, their hot water heater, and their HVAC unit. Okay, and the 2-bed, 2-bath units, some also have a recessed balcony as well. Next slide, please. This is the typical 1-bed, 1-bath unit. It's also quite sizable. It's 550 square feet. It also having a recessed balcony, a very large bathroom, big closets, and a very open concept living area. And the 3-bed, 2-bath are the largest units that we have in this building. It's 950 square feet. Okay, next slide, please. Here's the studio unit. This is also very large, 710 square feet. It's also a very open concept layout. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So here we are moving forward with the materiality and the exterior appearance of the building. What I want to emphasize here is that because we are conscious that this building is a 8-story building, it might seem large or huge. So the strategy here is like to break down the big massing using different materials, different color palettes, and also different window locations, and also the recessed balcony that I mentioned previously also cuts into this effect to break down the big massing of the building. So on the right-hand side, these are the three main color palettes I chose to use, which is panels with shades of white, gray, and black. Next slide, please. This is the elevation from the Sherwood Boulevard side. As you can see, the first floor, it gives you the impression that it has larger bays. That's because there's commercial activity going on. And from the second floor to the 6th floor, we use 2 different colors. And we also have recessed balconies to break the large massing of the building. From the 7th and 8th floor, we're introducing setbacks and a different material as well to add to the creativity of the facade. Next slide, please. Yep, this is the same notion, trying to break the big massing. Next slide, please. So we have been looking at 2D images. Now I want to show you some 3D renderings. On each page, on the right top corner, that is the same view as the rendering view. And these are the viewpoints that I showed you previously as well. This is looking looking southwest from thank you, from Marshall Road. So this is the entrance of, you could say, from the city if you were to go further into Upper Darby. I want to point out that we are introducing a I don't have my pointer here, but if you could use your cursor to point at the that small architectural wall right behind the traffic light. Yeah. So that is a 2 feet landscape buffer, also an architectural wall, not so high, but it is intended to create a more welcoming site and also to block the parking lot A on the other side of the wall. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this is looking on Sherbrooke, looking westward. If you could see the current photo that shows you the oil change and the one-story vacant building. After the building is built, it will look something like this. I also want to point out the recessed balconies, which plays the effect of trying to reduce the massive massing of the building. Next slide, please. This is also looking at the site from Sherbrooke. This is looking rather the opposite direction. Okay, next slide. This is on Marshall Road. You are looking northeast. So yes, it has the same effect, having the recessed balconies and different color palettes on the facade. Next slide, please. So this is the aerial view, which is the last slide. This would bring all the elements all together. So I want to emphasize that this is showing you that the shape of the building is following the shape of the irregular lot, and it is concentrated on the one side of the lot, while the parking areas are concentrated on the opposite side. We also have the landscape buffers from our building's parking area to the residential areas all around it. And we hope that this design is, you would deem it as thoughtful and inclusive. I guess that's all from me now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ping. I'm sure the board will have some questions for you.
Yes. So obviously the board appreciates the detail of the presentation. The first thing, I just want to confirm the relief that we're seeking so the board knows exactly what it's going to be voting on tonight. So if I go back to
yes,
what page it was, G008. It lists here 2 special exceptions, 5 variances, plus there's the 6th variance, I believe, for parking in a front yard. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
So, Josh, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So the one question I have, which is for the side yard variance request. So I noticed that that was not part of the original request for relief that was advertised. But in looking at the preliminary plans, it seems like this specific side yard issue might actually be a secondary or a tertiary front yard. And I was curious if the township considers the side yard abutting, I believe it's Marshall, to be a side yard or to be another front yard.
So the way that the code lays this out is under definitions, under yard rear, if a corner lot abuts 3 streets, which we believe this does, the owner or developer must designate on the plot plan which street frontage shall be the rear yard. Any street frontage which is so designated as rear yard must be contiguous to the side yard. So that's all we really have to work with. So the rear yard and the side yard together, and then I believe the front yard was chosen for, the front yard would be on Springton and Marshall.
All right, so the side yard at issue, so it looks like the one side yard is 15 and a half, and that's basically at the corner with Sherbrooke. There's the 5-foot side yard on Marshall. Am I right on that? I think that's what it is. I just want to make sure we're oriented in terms of the building envelope here.
Pull the site plan up too, so we're all looking at the same thing.
Figure we'll get the technical stuff out of the way first. All right. So it looks like the top right of the building, that corner is the 15 and a half. And then the corner top right on Marshall is the 5-foot, it seems like.
Right. Yeah.
And because each side has to have 15, that's where and it looks like each side's 15, then 25-foot aggregate, or sorry, that would be 30-foot aggregate. So that's where the variance comes in. Am I right?
So the side yard is supposed to be 15, but if it has a driveway, it's 25. Yeah.
Okay, so basically the one side yard's 5, it should be 15. The other one's 15 and a half, but it should be 25 because there's a driveway there. Is that a fair statement? Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If we were to appoint Marshall as the Marshall Road side as the front yard as well, will we have one less of a variance in that case?
Well, I think at that point, then the side yard might be the other frontage, and you would need a 15-foot, and that only has 10. So I think you'd still need a variance.
Got it.
This is just viewing it off the top of my head here. The reason I ask is because obviously that was not advertised. So we would have to re-advertise that particular set of relief. So I just want to make sure we're all clear on that. All right. So otherwise, obviously we've got 6 variances and 2 special exceptions. So a few points of clarification I just was hoping to get some clarification on. In terms of the commercial space, I know it's when you're looking at the site plan that's on the screen right now, it's the commercial space is located to the right of the building. Do you have a conceptual location for dumpsters or a trash enclosure for the commercial spaces, or was that going to be interior to the building?
Right now, we are thinking it would be on the, sorry, can you show the site plan again?
Sorry, I thought you had the floor plan.
Here, yeah. So right now, the trash collection is going to be concentrated on the, if you see a curb cut on the lower part, yeah, driveway reserved for trash collection and furniture moving purposes only. That is what we plan for now, to have the trash taken care of. Yeah.
Fair enough. As far as, and I see it looks like on a prior plan, it looks like there was a loading area in that general location as well. Is that accurate?
Correct, yeah. If you were to look at the first floor plan, that loading area is right next, it's a loading area, and it could also be used for trash as well sometimes, yeah.
Now, in terms of parking, so specifically related to the commercial spaces, I'm just curious, you can provide the board a little bit of information as to how you see that working, because it looks like most of the parking is concentrated towards the residential half of the building, not so much the commercial half. And if we could go up to basically like zoom out a little bit for me. All right. And it seems like a lot of the action on the site, like the entryway and the main thoroughfare of the site, is right in front of those commercial spaces, between the commercial spaces and most of the parking. So if you could just do me a favor, and I know you're not a traffic engineer, but if you could describe for the board a little bit how that's supposed to work, so that there's no concern with regard to pedestrians coming in and out of the commercial space in light of vehicular traffic.
Also, is the question...
Just if you could explain a little bit how that's supposed to work, because it seems like it might be a bit of a challenge for folks to park, cross the main access there, and get to their commercial spaces because of the proximity of the parking to the commercial spaces.
Mm-hmm. Can we please go to the page that has the traffic flow, the diagram? Previous, I believe. Go up, yeah. Yeah. So we only have, right now for this project, we only have a rough circulation path. I believe those details could be sorted out further down the road. But the circulation path we have right now, I believe, is the most ideal for not causing any traffic jams on Sherbrooke. But I know, and I know that your question was asking how do we separate the flow of the commercial customers, tenants, and the residential ones, correct?
Generally speaking, maybe not separate them, but make sure that folks can park basically where most of the parking is the residential side and safely navigate their way to the commercial, because it doesn't seem like the main bulk of parking is on the residential side, not the commercial. So there's going to be a lot of people crossing the main lane of traffic. So that was just, again, just look, I know it's early in the project, and I know that your client more than likely, justifiably, has not gotten a traffic engineer involved yet. But I was, like I said, just curious you could provide some additional detail if possible. And if that's going to get resolved later, that's fine. It was just something I thought the board might want to know.
Thank you. I would say that that will be resolved later, but there's also an option but it's so more like an operational phase that they could actually have like some spaces reserved for commercial. I believe that's the route to go as well.
Sure, and I'm sure
Down
that
the
can
road,
happen,
of course.
but there's also ADA parking as well.
Right.
And like even Lot A, there's only 5 spaces. So it's okay. I just wanted to see if you could provide that. The internal drive aisle, it looks like it's about 18 feet or so wide based on the plans. Does that include the planting strip in front of the building, or is that exclusive of that area? And my specific question relates to whether traffic can get by and there's going to be a fire lane as well. Do you have enough space for that?
Oh. That we could also figure out down the road, yeah.
Now, in terms of buffering, I know one of the special exceptions is related to the buffering. And it doesn't seem like in most places that there's 10 foot of buffer, which you don't have to have pursuant to the special exception. But I was curious, is there enough space on the property, enough square footage to provide 10 feet of buffering in the areas where the property abuts residential uses or districts? And if there's not enough space, could you explain what's there instead?
I'm sorry, I did not get your question.
Oh, no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It was a wordy one. That's not you. So the second special exception relates to landscaping and buffering requirements. And generally speaking, the township code requires a 10-foot buffer in areas where the property abuts a residential use or residential district. But there's an exception where if you can't provide 10 feet because of the nature, orientation, or size of the property, then you can provide something less. So I was curious, are there any areas where you're providing the 10 feet? And if you're not providing the 10 feet, can you explain to the board what specifically, and at this early stage, the applicant is offering to provide?
Oh, so we have on the north edge of the property line, as you can see, it's that 5 feet landscape buffer. Sorry, can you help me? Yeah, correct. If you could see the cursor, that is what we provided at
And that's
this stage. That's 5 feet already, yeah. So it's more than the required 2 feet.
Okay, thank you very much. So at that point, I believe the board's going to have a few questions for you, perhaps.
I'm overwhelmed. I'll start. So, I guess before we get into the individual sort of requests for relief, of a few times in your testimony, I think you referenced the shape of the parcel as it relates to like some of the relief you're seeking. But I think you said the parcel was about 71,000 square feet is the size of this parcel?
Yes, correct.
So I guess because a lot of this is dimensional, I'm having a hard time sort of understanding, like, with that much space, why isn't it you're building the problem as opposed to the parcel? Because if the building wasn't this size, couldn't you easily comply with most of these dimensional variances?
I wouldn't say so, and the reason is because I also have to mention that the reason that we have this size of a building is because we need to have a certain size and a certain amount of units to have the development project financially feasible. And so if we were to make the building smaller, that might not necessarily like dimension-wise, it might not like necessarily lead to more parking spaces, but
Okay, so
rather the owner might have more hardship financial-wise to sustain the project.
okay, so essentially, and what I'm hearing is, it sounds like you agree with me. It's not the property that's causing the dimensional hardships. It's basically the trade-offs you're making for variances. You're saying, well, if we made it a different size, we would need a different type of variance for parking or whatever. Well, you already need a parking variance, but some other sort of, you wouldn't comply with other aspects of the code if you oriented the building differently. Is that what you're saying?
So we also have like some lot constraints as well. The reason for us to also concentrate the building massing on the southeast side of the lot is because there is a like high water table on the north side of the lot. So from the start, we had the information that nothing could be built on the north side, and then like in order to have like a feasible layout, I would say the only rational shape this building can have and the most rational length this building can have to would be like this.
At this size, though.
This size, I would say so from like all the iterations I did on the drawing board. Yeah.
Okay. And so I guess to get more specific, I want to talk a little bit about the unit count. How did you sort of determine 120 units was the number? Why not 80, 60, 90, 50, any other lower number? How did we land on 120 as the minimum relief there?
Got it. John, do you think you should?
And if that's a question for the applicant, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's the applicant.
I mean, I'll
Okay, yeah,
repeat
no
when-
problem, yeah.
Okay. Could you talk me through the parking exception you referenced, like I think it was the transit parking exception. Can you just like talk me through that again so I understand
Sure.
your numbers there?
So per the code, we are supposed to have 232 parking spaces, but because we are close to a a transit stop, so we are qualified to have the 20% decrease, and that would, and after doing the math, the number would be reduced to 186. But we're still not able to provide 186. We only can provide 125. So we're asking for a variance still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So according to your math, you're asking for variance about 60, 61 spots or so?
Correct. Yes.
And so the sort of the landscaping buffer that I guess around the property, I think that's one of the variances you're seeking that we're not meeting. Is that partly to accommodate the parking spaces you want to put in there?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, they would lose more parking if they expanded to 10 feet. So they thought that the parking was more important than the buffer.
How many spaces would you lose if you complied with the landscaping buffer?
If we add 5 more feet, I would say at least 6, at least 6, but at most 12. I would say losing the first and second row on the top parking lot. On the parking lot B, the first and second row might be sacrificed because of the extra 5 feet.
So to comply with the landscaping buffer parcel wide, you would lose between 6 to 12.
We would lose
parking
more
spaces?
parking spaces, correct, yeah.
Do you know, and if this is a question for the applicant, that's fine, just say that, but do you know if has there been any assessment of impact done to determine like the parking ratios, the height or the design of the building?
Not yet, no. No, not yet.
There hasn't been, or you don't know?
Hasn't been.
Oh, there, okay. Do you want to check with council before you? Are you
Do you want to?
Oh,
there has been no
I
assessment
don't,
of impact?
I don't believe so, no.
The commercial spaces, I think there was testimony that I guess we're not really sure whether it's going to be retail or restaurant, I think.
Yeah,
you said, or
correct, could be, yeah, it's too early to tell, but yeah, could be small retail or small cafe or maybe an insurance, I don't, office space, we don't know at this point, no.
Okay. So presuming it's retail or restaurant or takeout or whatever the case may be, could you talk me through a little bit how the loading is going to work? I'm sort of, it wasn't clear for me from the site plan that you're sharing how that would work in conjunction with the residential building with that curb cut on Marshall Road. Like, could you walk me through the logistics of how that access could be used for trash pickup? I'm assuming for both residential and the commercial spaces.
So for the residential, it would be through the core where the elevators are. We also have a trash chute located in that core. That core will be all the way from the first floor to the 8th floor. And then the trash collection could happen in that area outside of the loading dock. As for the commercial, because right now what we have in mind is these commercial tendencies are at most, each space are at most 20 feet to 25 feet wide. So they won't be producing a lot of trash or need a lot of space for loading purposes. So we're thinking they could probably come in the, maybe not during business hours, go through the back door of the commercial space. But we could, that as well, if it's necessary. But we are also likely to like revise it to your comments, of course, if you think we need a carved out space for that.
So, okay, let's separate the two uses for a second and let's focus just on the residential. I'm assuming with that many units, we're talking dumpsters being stored somewhere, whether interior or along that drive aisle. Mm-hmm. Is the plan for the trucks to turn into that drive out and then back out into Marshall, or like how are they turning around to get back onto Marshall?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and The initial idea that we had was to have it turn around inside that area. But if it's not possible, we could always have it back out
Onto Marshall.
Safe with that?
onto Marshall. Yeah, that would be the only inlet.
And then for the, I guess, jumping back to the commercial spaces, let's assume it's, I'm trying to think of the lowest type of impactful sort of retail use, like a small cafe or something. Is the idea that they're pushing the trash down the the sidewalk to get to the loading? Do they have any access to get to trash outside of just going down the sidewalk with their, I guess, small dumpsters or whatever they use?
I would say that is not thought through yet at this point. Yeah. Yep, we'll be working on that for sure. Yeah. Oh, I said that that is not thought through yet at this point. Yeah, but we'll be working on that for sure.
Okay. Let me pivot back to sort of the overall structure. Do you know how many units you can fit? You would be able, same, I guess, like same orientation, but if you didn't need the height variance, do you know how many units would fit in that building? Like if you were at the 35 feet?
I would say that would be only 3 stories. How many?
How many units, like apartment units, do you think will fit in?
Oh, so then we would just take out the floors above 3rd floor then, and then add what's left, right? Is that your question?
Right, I think didn't you say there were 20 apartments on each floor? Is that what you said? So there would be, at 35 feet, there'd be the commercial floor and the parking, and then just 2 floors of 20 each, so it'd be about 40. Is that, there'd be, by my, 40, there'd be about 40, and then the 4 commercial spots if they had 35 feet, because you'd only have 3 floors, correct?
Okay.
And is
And
the
then
air conditioning units and things like that go on top?
The condenser units?
Yeah,
Yes, they'll be on the rooftop. Yeah,
so 35 feet plus.
plus those. What's your question? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
What I'm trying to get at,
The microphone.
Are the condensers above the 85 feet?
Oh, that's some are. Yeah, I believe so.
I think Mr. Gwynn is asking if the infrastructure on the roof will be included within the 35 feet in height, or if that would be in excess of 35 feet. Like, would you be able to?
85 feet.
No,
It would be in excess.
In excess.
Correct. It would be in
to
excess.
be in compliance with the rules that exist now, if you had to do that type of building, what would it be like?
I don't understand.
Well, how high are the condenser units?
Oh, the condenser units would just be a few feet high, 2 to 3 feet, I would say.
Okay. So you could still have 3 stories with the condenser units?
But if this is in regards to the building height, I believe the building height is like measured to the rooftop surface. It does not take into account the height of either the parapet or the condenser units on top of it, or the pilot house. Yeah. So does that answer the question?
For the parking lot, how did you envision, sorry, I didn't realize it was down. Could you?
You want him to pull back up?
Yeah, if possible. Thank you. Could you sort of
Maybe a different.
Yeah,
maybe a different
I guess the one with the, I guess any of them, yeah, I guess that works. I was looking at, I guess, the G7 with the overall parking lot, because I guess you have the overflow or lot C. How are you envisioning sort of like pedestrian traffic, like circulating the parking lot, getting from the building to the parking spaces? Like are you planning crosswalks, walking paths? Like are you envisioning pedestrian circulation of that?
Crosswalks. I would picture something like a Kmart or a shopping center. Like those crosswalks. Sorry, not Kmart, but like Home Depot and those large parking lots. They all have those crosswalks painted on the road.
Okay. No, I understand. I guess I was trying to ascertain like where you're envisioning
the
crosswalks.
On the spot.
What? If you haven't thought about it, that's fine.
I would say on the top of my head, maybe 2 of them from the north side parking lot to the main building. 2 of them from the north side parking lot to the main building.
Okay.
How you doing? Thank you for this. This is really nice and put together, and you have all the parts. Seems somewhat straightforward. I'm not going to repeat everything that we just talked about. I'm not going to try to do my best I can for off-site impacts. I think 3 things that we didn't talk about. Emergency access. I think we touched about the turnaround radii with the dumpsters. Can you just walk us through your emergency access to the building and throughout the building?
Sure.
Yeah. Because I just noticed there's 2 stairwells.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know if that's just like, I know these are not perfect. These are not like final drawings, and we're not requesting final drawings. I just noticed that on your floor plan, but we could just touch, if you had these, are you going to take these off-site impacts like emergency access, light trespass, and stormwater runoff? Because some of the pictures that you put on here show the area raining, and I know this area pretty well, and it's already on a hill. Would those be done if we decide to move forward?
Yes, they will be done. So, right now on the lot, I believe the lower portion is where the parking lot is. So to move forward with the project, we would have to fill it up.
Fill it up with lights, or? I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Okay, so right now the topo of the site is the northern part is more lower topography wise. So if we were to move forward with this, we would have to have it all leveled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks like there could be some light trespass on Sherbrooke Boulevard, and then probably, obviously, this is not mentioned here, like a emergency access for the 2 entrances, and you only have 2 stairwells in the plan. I'm not going to keep going on that, but those are just my observation, and probably, I don't think we need to talk about noise because there's a SEPTA station right here. So, but yeah, so like you said, those things will be considered later.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, the question is, did you also do what? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, may I ask a question? I know I'm an alternate type, but I just want to ask a question if possible.
Please. Hey, welcome.
Okay, so I'm very familiar with this area because I actually live down the street. And he was already just talking about it with the runoff with water, and I'm very much aware of why that parking lot, where they have it, because of the FEMA flood zone. With the variance asking to take away the space to have less landscaping. I guess my concern is with that being done, we're gonna now create more runoff and more flooding issues on Marshall. Is there a way that you guys could help combat that with permeable, surfaces, things like that?
So I believe that will be tackled further down the road of this project when we have a civil engineer on board to do the water management. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then my other
Parking lot though, you had permeable?
Oh, sorry, and I also want to bring up, so there is a parking lot, that's parking lot C. That's the one that's on the west side of the lot. We had an idea of using it's called the you have to go through my notes.
Yeah. Which slide is that?
It's this one. Oh, sorry. Are you able to zoom in the words? Yeah. So we put a note there saying that this parking lot C is to be paid with permeable interlocking concrete pavers, or PICP, over engineered open graded stone reservoir, and this is to be reviewed by the township engineer. We believe that measures like this would help the permeability of the site. But we will definitely look into this further after we enter into the water management phase of the project, when we have a civil engineer on board.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melinda.
I was going to ask if
going.
No, I was going to ask if that could be, put in, maybe explored as one of the conditions, just because I do know that there are a lot of residents, myself included, that are affected, unfortunately, by the runoff that we already have, and it would be, I think it would help make people happy in the area to have them really take that into consideration and see that as something we really need in this.
I have a quick question here. Do you know what the existing impervious surface ratio is on the site?
Yeah, we have it in the zoning page, the zoning summary. So, sorry, can you?
91.7 is what we advertised.
91.7.
Was that existing or initially proposed?
That's what's existing now. Yes. Yeah, they're going to reduce.
All right.
It will be.
Hey, hang on. I need everybody in the audience. We will have public comment, but in the meantime, I'm going to have to ask everyone to try and just be patient.
That's right. That's what's proposed. 91.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, I know you mentioned that many of these issues will be hammered out once a civil engineer is retained. Has a civil engineer looked over these plans?
Not yet.
Because I mean, a number of the questions that the board is asking, that I was asking earlier, relate to traffic concerns, parking concerns, pedestrian access concerns, circulation on the site, stormwater management, and then there's a reference here that you mentioned, sir, about permeable pavers and how that's going to work. We discussed topography, but I have not seen a survey. The applicant, Mr. Ping, I believe, is putting you in a really tough position here, because as an architect, obviously you're very talented in your profession, but you're being asked a lot of questions that are outside your general scope as far as this project is concerned with regard to some of these other issues. So I appreciate you trying to provide the board answers for that, but I think these are within the province of a civil engineer. And the fact that we're proposing an 8-story building and the board has many of these questions, And the fact that we apparently need to re-advertise anyway for the side yard setback relief, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there that the applicant might be well served to potentially get a civil engineer involved to allay some of the board's concerns about some of these issues. Just a thought.
Okay.
No question on that one. Anyhow, the board has any other questions for Mr. Payne? No? All right.
Yeah, that's fine. The applicant's fine with getting a civil engineer to look at all these, and if you wants to come back, that's fine.
It's just an observation of mine. Not an instruction. It's your application.
Hold on a second. Before I ask if they have any more questions of the architect, or do you want to have questions of the applicant?
I think I don't think the board has any further questions of the architect right now. But to the extent where if the board has any future questions as your applicant testifies, they don't go too far, Mr. Ping. Let's put it that way.
All right. I'll introduce real quickly the applicant, Mr. Singh. I think you already stated your name and spelled it.
Yes.
Okay. And you're the member of Real Diamond.
Yes.
And also 126 Springton.
Yes.
Okay. And you've been here the whole time and heard the testimony of Mr. Ping? Okay. And you also heard some of the concerns with the board about getting a civil engineer to look at the project. Do you plan to do that?
Yeah, I can have the firm to look over all the questions that you guys have. But I did talk to, I have a project going on. One of the civil that I know, you look over, but a lot of things that you guys are asking, like the stormwater and all that, I did ask him, but it's not on the paper yet. It fit well on that lot he did something, I don't know, that's his homework. I make him to do it before. I didn't just came, he's a blind faith, he doesn't know that. I just didn't came in and proposing 120 apartments just on a blind faith and tell you that, no, it's not like that. I did talk to that other project that I'm using, the civil engineer. He looked into it, he said, yeah, you can go ahead, but then still, nothing is on the paper. He's not here to testify. So we can do in the next meeting, I can hire him and he can come and answer all the questions that you guys are asking.
Well, so if I may real quick, so it's not so that would obviously help, I believe, some of the board members here to answer some of those questions. But at another level here, like let's, for instance, say the building needs to be reoriented for emergency access or to make certain other changes for stormwater, or as far as, whatever the case may be, you might lose a parking spot here or there. And but I don't want the board to do is I don't want the board to grant relief. And then ultimately when an engineer gets involved and says, hey, this or that needs to get changed, you might have to come back here and present again. So, it's a matter of not only making sure the board has all the information that it needs to feel comfortable making this decision, but also to reduce the odds that, this truly is the minimum relief that you need to make the project work and you don't have to come back again. So it serves a couple of purposes.
No problem. Thank you.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine, Mr. McGuigan. How do you want to proceed now? Do you want to maybe stop now and have them come back with a civil engineer, or do you want to take testimony if people are here, or however you want to, or do you want to ask him some more questions? It's up to you.
Let me put it this way. Members of the public are here tonight, so obviously we're going to open it up for public comment. So if everyone wants to come back in the future, more than happy to have you. But if you don't want to, that's fine too, and people can be heard tonight. What I'll say here is this: we have to come back anyway to re-advertise for the side yard setback. Whenever you want us to have that other hearing, we'll be happy to continue it to whatever date you want. In the meantime, if the board has any questions of the applicant tonight, or if you'd like to wait until next meeting, come. Yeah. All right, so it's already late enough, so I think the board would be interested in, we'll reserve our questions for the next time. Come back anyway, sir. Happy to talk to you again then.
But overall, my question I have.
No. Just real quick, can you tell them why you want the 85-foot exception?
Yeah, yes. If we go with the height at 35 feet, we can only go up to 2 floors with all the structures. We can't, I can't work with only 2 floors and spend that much money. And in a financial way, it's not worth it. It doesn't work. And what else?
Okay, that's it. And then I guess the second question is, Mr. McGuigan is suggesting we come back at a second meeting with the civil engineer. Do you think you would be prepared, the civil engineer be prepared in September, or would you rather wait till October? Do you think it would be better to wait till October?
Yeah, that's what my question was in the middle. Looking at the project, if the civil comes in, if everything goes well that I said that I did look at into it, but everything worked well, I just want a couple of things that the height matters. I'm asking you guys, the height, 85.
You're asking if the board is going to grant you 85 feet?
Yes.
Not sure about that. If you want if you want the board to take a vote tonight, they could take a vote. Let me put it this way. The board already referenced a few of their concerns. To the extent you want to make any changes to the scope of the project, obviously you can do that and submit revised plans, but I'm not sure I can give you the answer you actually want, barring an actual vote from the board.
What do you think, October?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let's give a civil engineer a couple of months.
Good. If we put it on the October hearing, and then maybe if you want to take comments from the people that came out tonight.
That's fine. And, to the extent where you're working with somebody or you need additional time, you can always ask for additional time. And, the board generally considers that, when an applicant's trying to put in time and effort to answer questions that we have, the board's happy to grant future continuances if necessary. So we'll vote on the continuance in a moment. But before we do, I'm going to open it up for public comment if anyone is interested in speaking for or against the application. Do I hear any public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. McGuigan.
Bonnie Hallam, Hallam. First, I'd like to say I think this is a great place to redevelop, and I'm excited about a project that could be done there. But I also have a lot of concerns. This is a floodplain that right across the street from it is the place where the creek, Darby Creek, goes underground. I'm concerned about underground parking because that area floods, and that's a concern that happened at the Drexel line as well, where they were right next to the creek and they had to not do underground parking. That is a big concern, particularly around the flooding of that area. And taking away all of the buffers and not putting in a lot of the green space around this only makes it additionally concerning with stormwater managing. 85 feet seems like a really big footprint there. I don't know if they could consider financially doing it with maybe 6 floors rather than 8 floors. I don't know. I hear the concern of the developer, but it does seem to be really a big footprint for that small space. And maybe if it wasn't quite so big, you wouldn't need all of the relief from the parking and other things. So just a consideration, but it's a great place to develop, and I hope they get a plan that will really work there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add one comment. The parking is ground floor. It's in the building, but it's ground floor. There's nothing,
Slab on grade parking.
nothing underground.
Sounds good. Yes, sir.
Rich Bly. First of all, I want to say that Bly, B-L-Y-E. I want to say that, first of all, the rendering by your firm is excellent. This community needs a better reflection, and I understand where I hear about, the footprint, about the size. I was wondering if this board could just, consider the applicant and the time that he's taken to make this variance proposal, and to maybe helpfully assist him to make a better proposal for this area. Is something that's definitely needed in this community, and I'm quite sure that people in the community are going to help assist that. Just want to say thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Lee Jordan, Leejordan. First of all, I want to say thank you to the applicant for redeveloping an area. I think it's what we need in Upper Darby is redevelopment, not taking away a forest or open space. Also, some concerns, though. It definitely will change the characteristic of the neighborhood. So I'm going to make sure that all the community members are aware of what's happening or what's proposed. There's things that you also need to think about of something of this size, like Bonnie mentioned, the footprint. It seems what they're proposing is too big for that footprint, but the impact on all our public services, the police, the fire, our school systems was something of that size being built. Also, I think it's hard for you to make a decision not having a traffic study or some of the studies that you need. I mean, to approve 6 variances and 2 special exceptions tonight is a huge ask when you really don't have all the facts and all the information in front of you. The architectural drawings were great. It looked very nice. Anyway, but that's just my thoughts right now. Thanks.
Thank you very much. At the very end, we'll give the applicant and council a chance to address some of these comments, for sure.
Becky Duggan, D-U-G-G-A-N. I have to say, when I first saw this earlier, I thought, 85 feet, this is crazy. And I still think 85 feet is a little too big. But after I saw the plans and saw everything, I think it'll look nice there. I mean, right now it's, nothing, I think it'll really add to the character and improve the neighborhood, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, obviously, but, once those get addressed, I think it would be a nice addition to the neighborhood. A couple of things, maybe, I don't know if you'd consider maybe some rooftop plantings would be a nice idea. I know you said there's a roof deck. And also, I didn't hear any comments about any like ADA accessible apartments. I was wondering how many of those would be ADA accessible. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi again. Hi again. You need my name? Michelle Billups. So, like everyone else, just want to thank you for wanting to develop that space. I think it's a great idea. And I'm sure when you guys get it all together, it will be fine, because it does have to come into council too, when it's a land development. So I do have just one question. I don't know if they can answer it or not, I don't know. But considering the number of variants being requested, sure. Considering the number of variants being requested, including height, parking, setbacks, imperious coverage, building length, landscaping, loading, and buffering, what evidence demonstrates that these variants are necessary because of the property's unique conditions rather than the applicant's preferred development design?
Well, let me put it this way. We're going to give the applicant and the applicant's attorney a chance to address some public comment. They've closed, so I'm sure they'll be happy to take a crack at that.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
I apologize, I forgot to ask this when I was up before. Bonnie Hallam, Hallam. The applicant indicated that there were some of these variances that they were going to strike and not put in, but I don't know which ones that would be. And also a clarification on the impervious surface, because this says that it is currently, that the code is 80%, but they want to do 91% is what it says on here. So can you clarify what percentage of impervious surface there would be?
I'll be happy to. So the applicant is withdrawing that request for impervious surface. So they're going to be compliant with that. The exact number we'll hear next time. Right now, I believe it's 71 and change, but they're going to be compliant with impervious surface. There are also the rear yard setback request. That's no longer requested. Instead, it's the side yard setback variance, which is one of the reasons that the applicant would have to come back because we, as a township zoning hearing board, need to re-advertise that. The variance for a building length greater than 124 feet, that is also no longer being requested. And then a variance regarding planting strip, that's no longer requested as well. Instead, there's a special exception related to the buffering requirements. But otherwise, all the other relief that's on that little agenda is still being requested.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Joanne Namavong. Do you want me to spell that again? Nammavong. I just wanted to make a comment. I know a lot of people are asking about the lot, and I know everybody probably looked at it, but it's a very unusual lot shape. So I think that the building, the proposed building, like I think you did a really good job with, you know, how you use that shape to accommodate the building. Yeah, it does seem kind of big, but it looks beautiful. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional public comment? I think I see one.
Kyle McIntyre. Public comment on this. So the thing I want to start off with is, and I know the applicant said it, so, and I know there's been a couple questions around it, and this is just at least my view on this property. When you're looking at the floodplain and where it is located and the fact that the floodplain is taking up so much of the property, that is why you're seeing this building forced onto the one side. I think that's also a reason why, and maybe it wasn't as articulated tonight, but hopefully they will make such an argument in the future and have some engineering to back it up. But they have to go vertically, specifically because of that restriction on that property where the floodplain is. And in order to make the property economical and because of the shape of the property, that is why we're looking at an 8-story building. Now, to put that in context, go down to 69th Street, the tallest building that we have is about 8 stories. So when we talk about, like, you know, other designs and other buildings, this is not entirely outside of the norm. Obviously, that building is a lot older. I think there's also a huge demand for modern housing in this township. I mean, I'm not going to lie, when I first saw this application, terrified. I think many people, when they see the numbers, big numbers, scary. But when you see the actual proposal and you see about what this could actually mean for this area and this community specifically, when it comes to, you're right, it is going to change the character of the neighborhood. I think for the better. I think it's going to actually create such a magnet for investment in an area that is so often overlooked that I encourage the board to find every feasible way to make it work and to work with the applicant as well to get to success. I'm not as concerned about the height, I think, as other people might be. It's already in a low spot. So when you go up the hill, you're probably not even going to see it. It's probably going to look more like a 4-story building from where most people's vantage points are because it is a little bit in a ravine. I think it's nice, honestly. I mean, it's really hard to get good redevelopment in this township, and this is a really good example of it. So I really want to thank the applicant, and I hope you guys consider approving it after an engineer study comes through. And there's a lot of other things that need to be figured out, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sheikh Siddiq, SIDDIQUE. it's too late. I'll say a few words briefly, which is, it's almost 72,000 square feet lot. And that lot is sitting over there almost 60 years. It's not happening anything over there, like a dumpster. We need more housing in our community because Upper Darby is, the population is growing rapidly. So this is a good addition to our township. Within the zoning board, applicant and the township work together to happen this project. We need more housing because community growing, and it's a multi-use facility. The more people, more business, more income, more benefit, more financial benefit to the township. I will ask zoning board, work with the applicant and make this project to be happen. Upper Darby, we need it. And about the height, we are next to Philadelphia, sky high. So Upper Darby has to change it. And I believe that we are running in 1976 Home Rule Charter. This time has come to change a little bit here and there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional public comment? All right. Does the Mr. McCreesh, do you want to have a chance to maybe address a few of the comments that we heard, understanding that you're going to get another shot when we come back?
Right, I'll try to be brief because I know it's late. I do appreciate all the public comments. I took notes. We'll definitely be coming back with an engineer. Definitely took notes of the board's questions, and we'll try to do our best to answer all those questions, see if we can make any other improvements. I know there was a lot of talk about the flooding, and that is one of the things that the architect did reduce. He originally had it at 91%, and he now brought down to 77% by changing some of the parking. He is cognizant of that requirement and tried to accommodate the space. And they'll make more changes and hopefully answer everyone's questions. And we'll be back in October. Hopefully, Mr. McIntyre, I don't know, maybe he can come back because maybe I'll just hire him to for Senate since he's such in favor of it. But thanks again for your time. We don't want to be too late tonight.
No, we appreciate that.
And we're going to vote on the continuance for October, if that's okay.
Sure. So give me one second. All right. So at this point, we're going to need the board to make a motion to continue the application until the October agenda date, which is, let's see. Which is going to be October 27th. So do we have a motion to continue application number 8-3 of 26 to October 27th?
Motion to approve.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any comments or discussion on the motion or anything we heard tonight?
Yeah, I'd make a comment, Council. I think it seems apparent that there's at least some support for your applicant's attempt to develop this site. But the applicant's own testimony, they essentially testified that they took no consideration to community impact when designing the site. So in addition to all the questions we already asked, I think it would be smart to anticipate questions in that vein as well. So, take the information as you go.
Understood. Thank you.
All right. Now, do we have a vote on the motion to continue the project to the October agenda date? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we'll see you back here, Mr. McCreesh, in October. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. That concludes our hearing. Do we have a motion to adjourn?